Welcome back to another video. This is, I believe, vlog number 55. Nice. Anyway, to open up today's vlog, I'm going to show you what I'm eating. I've got a Lebanese piece of bread with some lentils and some bits of bacon. And that's what I got. I just made one of these previously that just had the bacon. Now I've got the bacon and the lentils. So, I'm gonna give that a try. I'm gonna sit here and eat that whilst I watch yesterday's video and I edit out any naughtiness. No naughtiness allowed. Not here. Not allowed. Oh shit, I'm showing my stripes. Oh well. One thing that I would like to buy is a computer that has enough processing power so that whilst my video is exporting from CapCut, I can still watch YouTube videos, because right now, as soon as I start exporting a video from CapCut, well, to the desktop, that's where I send it to the desktop. As soon as I start doing that, so it's turning it from the unedited clips, and then I don't know what it does, but it turns them all into an MP4, and it takes a while. I'd say it takes about, well, it takes different amounts of time depending on how long the video is, but it takes a good while. But that whole time that the video is exporting, I can't watch a YouTube video because it just won't play properly. Like, the computer is now going too slow to be able to process all the information, so it just slows right down. So I can play like a YouTube video, but it's like a really shitty version of a video where it's going like slow in parts, and I don't know how to describe it. It's just not as good as it could be if I had a computer that had like probably I guess a better processor. Something that was faster, capable of going faster. I don't know what that would be. I'm considering buying a MacBook, basically, instead of getting this computer fixed, but I also think, well, I might just get this computer fixed and stick with it until it's completely useless, and then I'll replace the computer. Because buying a computer is a fairly expensive chunk of money if you're getting a really good one. I don't know how much it is, but I imagine it's like not far off $1,000. If not more than $1,000, especially for a MacBook. Decent MacBooks are probably more than $1,000. Or maybe they're not anymore. I don't actually know. Let's find out. That's a good question. How much is the current best MacBook? So let's see the best MacBook that you can currently get. The best all-round MacBook is the 13-inch or 15-inch M4 MacBook Air, starting at approximately $999. For professional power users, the new M5 series MacBook Pro models start from $1,699. Prices vary based on screen size, storage, and chip configuration. So I really don't mind having a smaller screen. That's absolutely fine with me. In fact, I'd actually prefer that because I would like to be able to carry my laptop around in a backpack. And that means like the smaller and the lighter that is, and the less room that it takes up physically, the better. But I would like it to have the fastest processor possible. So yeah, basically I could expect to pay around £1,000 for that. So the question is, do I really want to do that? Or should I just stick with my current computer? It works okay, but the screen and a lot of the stuff associated to the screen is severely damaged. And that would need fixing. It needs fixing ASAP, really. And I don't know exactly how much that's going to cost. The guy in the computer shop said bring it in and he'll give me a quote on how much it'll be. But I've not yet done that because I've not quite had the money to do that. So I might do that in about 10 days when my money comes through. The only thing that's going to make me sort of have to rush about anything is if and when someone says, okay, I want to buy the house. And then I get like a date of like, here's the day you have to move out. And then I'll have a very specific knowledge on exactly when I will need to do what, and exactly when I will need how much money and everything like that. So that'll all make much more sense then. For anyone who's not watched the videos before, I'm currently going to be selling up the house that I'm currently living in, and then I'm going to be moving to a surprise location. I don't know where. I do know where, but I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret. Anyway, all the rest of the gear that I have to make the vlog is currently very good. I'm happy with this camera. I really like this camera. It's done a very, very, very good job so far. After doing 55 days in a row of vlogging, it's functioned absolutely brilliantly, absolutely perfectly, pretty much, with almost no issues. So that is very, 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 very good. Now I have to say I'm very impressed with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I do think it's a great camera. I think I've realised that it is basically everyone that just does the exact same thing over and over again for years at a time, if not decades. I'm not sure I've ever wanted to be that kind of person. I've always much preferred the idea of being a jack of all trades and a master of them all too. But that's not possible. Unless it is. You can see that I'm having some trouble with these concepts. Anyway, it is only really possible to learn one thing at a time. But every one thing at a time that you do focus on also has many, many, many facets or sides to it. So there's more to it than you would think. I do think it's good to try lots of different things though and see what you like. I see some people having this sort of closed-mindedness towards professions, and I think that's a bit stupid, really. To think that you sort of you want to close yourself off to learning a different trade to the one you already know. There's plenty of reason to learn how to do lots of different things. It's not like you have a shortage of time. You've got so much time to learn. So you could do pretty much anything. You do have to pick something and then focus on that. But there's 7 days in the week. Let's say you give 1 day a week to a different activity. Then in 10 years, you're fantastic at doing 7 different things. Whereas if you spent 7 days a week doing one thing, then in 10 years, you're fantastic at doing one thing. You could argue that you are 7 times better at doing that one thing, and that may be true. That probably is true. But is the value of doing 10 things 7 times, at 7 times less ability compared to doing the one thing? Is the value of that more or less? It's quite tricky to create equivalence of value. You'd have to say that in theory they're of equal value. But in practicality, they're just not. The person that can do 7 different things instead of one is capable of taking on many, many more different positions in terms of the work that they can do, in terms of what they can produce, in terms of their value. They seem much more valuable than a person who can just do one thing very well. And the reason might be that it's not that easy to distinguish the difference between someone who's spent 1 day a week for 10 years learning a trade in comparison to someone who's spent who spent every day for 10 years learning that trade. The difference isn't that great. I wouldn't say it's 7 times as much. So there's some kind of mathematical equation there that's going on that's making that different. And for that reason, I think it's better to keep, a Monday activity, a Tuesday activity, a Wednesday activity, etc., etc., etc. for the 7 days. If you can. If you can afford to, money-wise, time-wise, I think that would be the optimal way to do it. Even better than that, you know, rather than spending one day fully on each activity, just spend 2 hours a day on 7 activities. That's 14 hours of the day. On these 7 activities, do that 7 times a week. Keep that up for 10 years. What are you then? A multi-disciplined creative person with a variety of skills. Someone that could more than likely be placed into any position at all and be able to figure out what to do. That's in comparison to someone who just knows how to do one thing. People might not trust so easily that they could take that person and put them into different situations and believe that they'd be able to cope. Because they might not have the variety of experience needed to deal with situations that they cannot understand. So, this is my current thought process. I think it's an important thought to think. And I think I could come up with a list of 7 things that I would focus my time on. I'll try and get them out now. Let's see if I could say it all right now. So I'd say 7 activities for the 7 days. Number 1, playing drums. Number 2, playing the bass guitar. Number 3, playing the guitar. Number 4, playing the piano. Number 5, singing. Number 6, songwriting. Number 7, writing fiction. Those are my 7. I would bet that each and every individual person would have a different 7 if they were asked to come up with the 7 areas of interest in which they have the most care for. And that's great that everyone's different. Now, you could say that you could condense like 6 of my interests down into the category and just say music. And that's true. I could do that, and I could come up with all new other interests. In which case, I'd probably say music, writing, dancing, artwork, bricklaying, or learning how to build houses. I'd like to learn that at some point. Then 6 and 7 could be exercise for sure. And the last one maybe culinary skills, cooking, etc. But really, that's like a broader 7. Whereas I would actually like to spend much more time focusing specifically on specific instruments, which I see as being distinctly different, although they all make up music. To be a multi-instrumentalist is a fairly rare talent, but to be able to cover drums, bass guitar, keyboard / piano, and what am I missing? And guitar. To be able to cover all of those, and vocals. If you could cover all of those with like high levels of talent, then that really, 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 really sets you apart from a lot of other people that play music. For instance, look at a person like Lewis Cole. He sings very well, I would say. He plays guitar, bass, piano and keyboards, and drums, all to a very good standard. All 5 of those. And that makes him, to me, a very impressive person. And simply for that reason, I sort of look up to him in a way. I don't know him. I've never met him. I don't know what he's like as a person. But I at least respect the time and effort and attention he's put into learning those instruments. And I know how much time it takes. I know how much patience it takes. But really, if you have the enthusiasm and you have the energy inside of you, the drive to want to learn those instruments, then there's nothing that'll stop you. Because if you find some, like the way that I remember, the way I felt about playing drums was when I learned how to play drums. The way that I felt about it was there was nothing else that I wanted to do as much as I wanted to play drums. I used to think about that when I was at school. I started playing drums when I was about 13, and if I was at school, I would sit in lessons all day, fantasizing about the moment that I get home and I can start playing drums. And that's exactly what I used to do. The second I would get home, I would start from school. I would start playing my drums, and I would play for hours every single day. And that's how I got good at playing the drums. I also did get lessons, and I had a great teacher. But most of my learning was teaching myself, and it was purely based on the excitement that I had about playing music, which is completely organic. So I really do think if you're going to become a multi-instrumentalist, it's not going to be by force. It's going to be by a natural enthusiasm that becomes apparent to you. So I'm talking to myself here, really, but yeah, that is what I think. Definitely done enough exercise today, because I can feel it. I'm a bit shaky. You know that shaky feeling when you've done lots of exercise. I'll talk about the Mighty Boosh again. Anyway, it's getting to be about 10:45 now. So probably going to be putting the video away for the evening, unless there's any other thoughts spring to mind. Of course, there is usually more that springs to mind. I've just started this video, but do keep watching, because just because I go to bed doesn't mean the video's over. I quite often start these off in the evenings, and I'll sometimes start them off in the morning if I get an early night or I'm just super tired, extra tired. So I think I talked about some good stuff there already. I'm looking forward to watching that back and listening to what I was saying. It's starting to make me think a little bit. I've got to find a way to get my own sort of little music studio where I can practice all the instruments and put things together. I think I very likely will be getting lessons on a variety of instruments in London, but then I've got a bunch of options. One of my options is actually to buy a garage and then use that to practice music. It would likely have to be a garage that has what do you call it? Electricity. And also one where there wouldn't be too many complaints. So it might not be possible. I don't know. Or else I've just got to focus on doing one thing, and that's making as much money as possible, as fast as possible, doing whatever I can, which is the thing that I'm best at doing is playing the drums. That's what I'm best at. That's what I've got the most experience doing. Spent a long time doing it. Done it with a lot of people. Played drums in a lot of different bands. So I've got that experience. So I could just try and focus on doing that, making money, and then with the aim of buying another place in London, and then setting up a studio there. That is a definite probability. I'm definitely going to have a go at doing that. And one way or another, I'll make it happen. I do have lots of other things to do as well. So in terms of like what order will what happen, in what order will what happen? Oh, can't speak because I'm burping. So in terms of in what order will what happen, I'm not exactly sure in what order what will happen, but I'm just taking part in the process, which is basically focus on moving to the bigger place, the better place, where there's much more money to be made. And there's much more demand for music. People like music more there. People appreciate music more there. And basically, I don't really have the ability to even set up a studio in the house that I'm currently in because of what it would cost to actually get that done. I don't know what it would cost to effectively soundproof, I guess, at least one room. And I'm not even sure if it would be possible to effectively soundproof a room completely to the degree or to the standard that I would like it to be soundproofed. And that leads me to think that I could do with some advice from existing studios or people with studios, or else the optimal, the ideal would be to get a house that is completely detached, has its own surrounding property or garden or whatever you want to call that, and then I could quite happily set up a music studio there without that bothering anybody whatsoever. That is the best option. That is probably not going to happen in London, but it could happen somewhere else outside of London for sure. But doing the move is really far more related to being closer to the place where everything is taking place and where the music is being made, and spending time there again, as I've already spent a lot of time there. But this time when I'm spending time there, I'll just be focusing on making my videos and going to the gym, and that is all I'll be focusing on. And if any musical opportunities arise, it would be by pure coincidence, and I'm really not going to go looking for them. But they do tend to come looking for me. And I have been in fairly high demand. I do have a lot of people asking me to play with them quite often. Even still, now, after not playing with anyone for several years, well, I have played with some people, but anyway, even after not having played with anyone really for several years, I still have a lot of people asking me to play music with them and making me all kinds of offers or whatever. So I can do it, but I will have to go back to London in order to be able to start saying yes to some of these offers. And I was saying no for ages because I was like, I don't really need to do it. I don't really want to do it. I had money, I'd bought a house. I got my own house. I didn't need to think or worry about how am I going to pay the rent, etc., etc. I was in a good position, so I just sort of relaxed a bit. And then 5 years went by, and I relaxed a bit too much. And then now, I'm joking. It was a great time. It was exactly what I wanted to do. I did exactly what I wanted to do. But now I really feel like going back towards the musical lifestyle again, because for quite some time I really wanted to get away from that, and I did, and did a lot of reflecting, figured out a lot of the things that were bothering me about what was going on, let's say, and probably gained quite a lot of internal resolve now, and most definitely regained my independence, and that's something I'm not going to give away. I have much, 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 much higher standards for myself now, and that means I most definitely accept less from other people in terms of, I guess, behaviours that I don't like. So I'll be going back into situations with much higher standards, and I would say with more self-respect. And I'm really now just trying to set myself up again as like a completely independent agent, being just James Atkinson YouTube channel, as this is my main sort of, way of sharing what I'm doing. And that's okay with me. I just show everything about myself quite honestly, quite openly. And, I'm not afraid of doing that at all. I really don't care. I don't care all that much what other people have to say. They can say whatever they want. But yeah, these are just my thoughts now. So I would like to be able to really practice a whole variety of different instruments in much more with much more focused attention. Again, and I think I will be able to do that in London. It'll just be about finding the way to do that. It will be likely that I'll have to go somewhere else to do that. I'm not necessarily going to be able to do that at home, wherever home is going to be, after I find a little place to stay, a room or a flat or whatever I find. I have no expectation that I'm going to be able to practice anything there in terms of playing music, because of the volume. People are so close together in London. There's not that many properties that are really spaced out from each other where you could actually set up a studio. Well, I mean, there are, but there are plenty of those properties, but they're all, I don't know, 10 million plus. So I'm not playing at that level yet. But I intend to be at some point, and I'd very much like to have a big, beautiful house with an amazing music studio in London. That is absolutely 100% one of my goals. So that's why I've got to start making some money. I'm not focusing on trying to make money but um, I'm really just focusing on doing whatever it is that I want to do, and a lot of doing what you want to do involves having the money to do it. It really is as straightforward as that, isn't it? So I'm not going to beat around the bush in saying, you know, like the Beatles did, money, that's what I want. Um, because, yeah, that's just a factual statement. Of course I want money. But, I don't want money. I want to be able to live in London and have my own music studio so that I can do what I love. That's what I want. But it's just that the equation spells out that to do that, you have to have the money to do that. Simple as that, really. So, yeah, it has to be a part of the equation, and it is a large part of the equation. And I'm figuring out how to actually calculate the full equation. But the more that I seem to learn about that, the more that different ideas make sense. Things sort of start to click into place. And then the more it just seems easy to use the human magnetism, which is the innate ability to just attract all that is needed. So it takes a great deal of work to be able to do things in a way that is very simple. But there is no other way around that. It has to be that is the way. That is the one way, that is the only way. A lot of thinking goes into reaching a place where there is no thought. A lot of effort goes into reaching a place where no effort is needed. So that's all I do. I just make the effort. And then after the effort is made long enough and in the right way, in the way that it needs to be done, then the opportunity appears as if by magic, and it's very, very simple. All I have to do is just go along with what is already set up. I already know all of this, but I'm just saying this for the video for anyone that's listening who is kind of thinking about, what they need to do in their life, how they want to make their goals come to fruition. That would be the kind of thing that I would say. Is it'll happen seemingly randomly in a sort of magical kind of way. And basically for no reason. But you have to continue making the effort without any knowledge of when it's all going to pay off. But of course, it absolutely will. Because to those who persist, or there's a line from the Bible actually. What was in the Bible? So it's a brilliant line. Here we go. Matthew 6:4. Jesus promises that when good deeds like giving to the needy are done in secret, your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And that's the essence of it. Is no matter whether anyone sees your good deeds, sees the effort that you make, sees the work that you do, your Father in heaven sees your good work and he will reward you. And for me, that's all I need to know. My Father in heaven is watching me. And he sees all that I do. So, for me, he is enough. This is exactly the kind of thing I like listening to. Someone reading excerpts from the Bible. And there you can see a beautiful picture of Jesus. Makes me so happy. Am I just a complete narcissist to think that everything just revolves around me? Or am I just the king of everything? Yeah. Genuine question. Do 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 do. You gotta smile. You just smile, smile, smile. Smile, smile, smile. Oh, you gotta smile. Oh. Hello there. Nice to see you. I've been surfing the internet for the last 2 hours straight. Now, pretty tired, so time for bed. Just got up, don't know what time it is. Time for a piss, that's what time it is. I slept alright. The song that's been playing in the Radiohead is Electricity by Dua Lipa. It's so hot in here. Just turn the heat off. It's going to be as sunny and warm as it was yesterday. I don't think I'll need it today. Time to get some coffee down my neck. Try and get the day started. So it's 9:40 a.m. I did think I thought I'd probably got up a little later than usual, which is true. 9:40 a.m. is a little later than I usually get up. And the reason I thought it was probably a little later is because I usually get more sleep the more exercise that I do. Yesterday I did quite a lot of exercise. Oh, taking 2 of these ginkgo biloba. I was having this dream where Dua Lipa's face kept shape-shifting into Ghislaine Maxwell's face. They don't look too unsimilar. First sort of hour of the day is what I think of as getting over the hump. Trying not to let myself go back to sleep. The reason I don't want to let myself go back to sleep is because I want to make today a good day, productive, busy. But it takes me a good hour to really wake up. And for that first hour, I really can't do much more than just sit there in a chair. That's pretty much what I do. I drink the coffee and I take my supplements. It used to just be just drink the coffee, but now I've added take the supplements. This ginkgo biloba I started a couple of weeks ago. It might be less than a couple of weeks actually. I don't even know how long it's been. It's not been very long though. So I take the ginkgo, I take the coffee, and that's all supposed to get me going, like the drugs that I need. And then fingers crossed, about an hour after waking up, I'm ready to actually do something. For the first hour, I don't even really have the energy to click the mouse on my computer. I don't have the energy to really do anything. But I have to try and make myself get the coffee down, get the supplements down. So that I've got a bit of energy. I don't actually always wake up like that. Very rarely I'll wake up and I'll just be alive and full of energy. But the common way is to wake up, feel dreadful, I have to process whatever dreams I was having, and then take some physical substances to get me alert and alive and awake. And what I'm getting ready for, or what I'm getting alert and alive and awake for, is another day of carpe diem, seizing the moment. I wonder if focusing the video less on my face will make these videos better. I don't know. When I say better, I do just mean better for me. I'm not really thinking about whether it's better for anybody else. I don't really care about that. I don't really even know how to care about that. I have explained this before, but I will explain it again. I'm not making this video for anyone else except for me. And if you're viewing this, that might sound like an abrasive thing to say, to be inconsiderate of your feelings. But here's the issue. I don't know what your feelings are, and they're very different from anybody and everybody else that could be watching this video. So for me to try and picture what lots of people may or may not be thinking and try to cater the video to them, it's basically impossible. So I may as well just not even bother trying to do that and just make something I like. And really, if I'm not making me happy by doing this, then I'm not going to do it. There's no two ways about it. So if you have any kind of thoughts or feelings about my videos, about my channel, that you'd like to express as to improvements you'd like to see, just please don't bother telling me. Just unsubscribe. If you're subscribed, just don't like the video and just go watch something else. I don't care. I don't want to hear about what you think I could do better, because I don't want to do better, not by anyone else's standards. I'll do better for myself by my own standards, but I'm not really that interested in hearing anyone else's criticisms, because for somebody else to think that I should care about their criticism is for them to be misguided on who I'm making this video for. Somehow they've convinced themselves that I'm making this video for them and that I should make it the way they think that it should be made, which is just completely incorrect. I'm not making it for you, whoever you are watching this. I'm making it for me, that's it. I'm not making it for anyone else. So I am sort of alive and kicking now, and I'm gonna have to make a choice on what I'm about to do. I would like to go out again like I did yesterday, to go for a proper good wander, because that was really good to do that. Yesterday I spent a good deal of time outside the house in the sun, walking, and I was just completely on my own with the camera, and it was really good. But if I want to do that again, first thing I'm going to have to do is wait for my phone to charge. That's on 18%. And I'm also going to have to charge my camera, which is on 30%. So I don't know how long that's going to take. I guess that's probably a couple of hours. I just plugged the camera in, which is that noise that you heard. I do wonder if I'm using it. Does the battery go up or does it go down if it's plugged in? So does it absorb more than it uses? Or does it use more than it absorbs? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna have to let these things charge for a bit. And I don't really want to do that. what I could really do with getting is some charging banks that actually work. Because I did buy some, and I tried them out, and I could not for the life of me get them to actually charge anything. I don't know if it was them or if it was me. That was the problem, so to speak. But if I had an extra power bank for this camera and for my phone, I guess, then I could always just leave those power banks plugged in. And then I don't think there'd ever be a situation where I'll be saying like, I have to wait here because I need this to charge. As long as I remembered to put them on charge every evening before I go to sleep. I should really do that anyway. To be honest, I have a good morning routine now. What I really need is a good evening routine. Because I think maybe those are the two most important things to take care of, is like the first thing you do and the last thing you do. I mean, it might be even good to have a fairly strict routine that you stick by during the entire day. I'm really genuinely starting to consider doing that again, which is what I used to do. Obviously, there can be some flexibility there, but I think it's good to have a structure like that. But yeah, that should be the last thing I do before I go to bed. Is I should plug my phone and my camera in, so when I wake up, they're ready to go. And then I can be ready to get up straight away and leave the house. Okay, so the camera just went up from 30% to 31%. That's what I was waiting for this entire shot. Was I was waiting to see if it goes up or down. So it looks like as long as it's plugged in, even if I'm recording, the battery will go up. And obviously, I would assume that it's going to go up slower than if I wasn't recording. And it basically took around 5 minutes to go up by 1%. So if it takes 5 minutes to go up by 1%, how long would it take to get to 100%? I guess it would take another. It's on 31, so it takes 69. Yeah, 69 times 5. Wow, that's a long time. That's like over 5 hours. I do hope it's a bit quicker than that. I'm not sure that I want to wait 5 hours for the camera to be charged. I pretty much use one full charge from the camera per day. And I do think it charges to maximum fairly quickly. If I'm not using it, I think it takes about an hour to charge. So that means it probably takes roughly 5 times It's probably roughly charges 5 times slower if I'm actually using it. Anyway, I better turn it off so it can charge quicker. And then I'm planning to try to go back out again like yesterday. Go for a walk in the sun, stretch my body out, and just see how far I can go, really. I'm just trying to go as far as I can for as long as I can, focusing on endurance and fitness and getting some clips for the vlog. That's really what I'm trying to focus on. Alright, I managed to get the camera up to 80% battery. I can't give him any more than that. I just can't wait. I've got to talk to the camera, you know. I've got to talk to Cameron, the camera. Cameron the camera is now basically my closest friend. And I tell him everything. And what I'd like to tell him right now is that I am getting ready to go outside and take that stroll that I was talking about previously. All I really got to do is put some shoes on, put my jacket on, and then get going. What slows down everything is just the process of the vlog. The talking about doing the thing puts a lot more time in between thinking of doing the thing and then doing the thing. It also seems to keep reintroducing the element of indecision, because for whatever reason, if I say something out loud, it now just becomes a thought that has been spoken and no longer has any sort of imperative associated to its importance. Having said all that, I am actually gonna go ahead and do exactly what I said, which is that put my jacket on, put my shoes on, and then head out the door. And where I'm gonna go is basically anywhere and everywhere. I'm not gonna forget this today. This is the case or the guard for the camera. Might seem like it's unnecessary, but it actually is quite necessary because it keeps it in place while it's in my pocket, and definitely reduces the risk of the camera being damaged. And I really don't want the camera to be damaged because I really love this camera. If anything happened to this camera and that meant it was damaged or destroyed or whatever, I really do think I would instantly buy another one without any consideration whatsoever. As soon as I had the money, I'd get it. So I am actually physically outside. Good start. It's pretty sunny again. What I would describe as quite nice. Just like yesterday. I do think there's going to be much more outdoor activities taking place on the vlog. Because of the nice weather. Kind of just makes sense because I'm going to be outside more if it's nice out. I feel like I'm just saying the most obvious thing ever, But this is all just because basically yesterday my friend was saying like I should do shorter videos outside and stuff, because the videos that I'm putting out are too long. Now he's made a mistake and error in his judgment in thinking that I'm trying to make a video to cater towards his wants, which I'm most definitely not. I couldn't give a shit less what he thinks. But I've explained this before, I'll explain it again. Basically, I make a video of whatever it is that I'm doing. So that means if I'm in the house, that's what the video is. If I'm outside, that's what the video is. Video is secondary to me just doing what it is that I want to do anyway. I'm not really adjusting my behaviour too much in order to try and make this anything other than what it is. And I'm definitely not interested in doing anything that's contrived. I'm only doing what I really want to do. And that's going to be the only reason that it comes out the way it is. It's because that's the way I wanted it to be. And it's not for anyone else, it's for me. So it shouldn't really be an issue. I don't really want any viewers, I don't need any viewers. I'm not asking for them. So I don't really need to consider what other people think for that reason. Anyway, I suspect that I'll get more critiques as I carry on doing these videos, obviously. But yeah, I would just say, if you're considering doing that, just don't waste your time. I'm not going to take any of it into consideration. I don't care what you have to say at all. Sorry. If you don't want to watch this video, don't watch it. Go watch something else. I don't give a single fuck, I really don't. So anyway, I'm just gonna be heading into town centre-ish kind of way. Just gonna take a walk about. Probably gonna put the camera down quite a few times, so that I can just focus on, real life. Not that this isn't real life, it is. Obviously, it is. Cameras are part of real life. Doing a vlog is part of real life. It really feels really stupid to have to continually state the obvious, but it has to be done because of the fact that there's still a lot of just stupid people around. So you basically have to continually repeat yourself until people actually understand what it is that you're saying. Whilst there are lots of people that have actually thought about the different aspects of what it is like in the present day and age, there's definitely still people that just haven't thought about that. And for that reason, they have quite a lot of stupid reactionary ideas in response to that which they don't understand. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you don't understand something and you realise you don't understand something, that doesn't mean you're correct in your lack of understanding. That means you are literally missing some piece of information, And so it might need to be explained to you. So you've got to be able to have the rationale, the reasonability to understand that you may have to listen carefully and actually think about the point, about the purpose of something that you don't understand. And then it may make more sense to you. You don't have to just try to be sort of willingly staying in your state of lack of understanding, thinking that a state of lack of understanding is in some way superior to the people that have understood something that you've missed. That really is the height of ignorance, to be ignorant to how ignorant you are. Anyway, you might ask, what is it that I'm trying to do today? Or what is it that I'm doing today? And the answer is the same thing I do every day. Try to take over the world. I really feel like I can't really complain so much about how fucking shit everything is now. Just because it's sunny. Like, the sun is just the medicine that cures all the ails. It seems that way. It's not that way, actually. I still did a fair amount of complaining yesterday. I'm sure I'll still do a fair amount of complaining today. Well, I might not. I never quite can predict how I'm going to feel, what I'm going to think. But why would I want to do that? What a waste of time trying to predict how I'm going to feel, trying to predict what I'm going to think. What is the fucking point in that at all? What a stupid thing to do. What a waste of time. Oh, see, there we go, I'm at it again. Complaining. Oh, I love complaining, I really do. It's the best. Walking through Chorley Town Centre. Slow, stupid, fat idiots getting in the way, like literally walking like in a line. So they're blocking the entire path so nobody can get past. How fucking stupid or arrogant do you have to be to do that? I guess both. You have to be arrogant and stupid, not trying to let people past. So I just had to say, get out of the fucking way. What are you doing? And then they get all scared. Woo! You shouldn't block a walkway. If you're in a group, you should try and leave a space open remaining so that people can get past. Then you're actually thinking about other people, not just about yourselves. Good start to the day. Good start to the time out of the house. Lots of annoying idiots so far, so that's good. All very positive. Just gonna go around to my mate's house and just knock on for him, see what he's doing. See if he wants to hang out. I don't know what he's doing today, if he's got any plans or anything. But I'm gonna go find out. Hopefully, if he answers the door, instead of being ignorant. Still walking now. Don't know where I'm going, don't know what I'm doing. Just walking. Might try another friend's house. Just tried one. No answer. No success. Fair enough. Onwards and upwards. On to the next one. More stupid fat idiots. Just came across one then. Wanted to talk to his little mate. Oh, look at this guy, he's talking to his camera. Alright. Wow. What a fucking idiot. Does he know what year it is? Has he not seen what literally everyone is fucking doing? What a fucking idiot. Big fat fucking retard needs to go down to the gym.
get himself in shape. Then maybe he can talk. Not while he looks like a fucking boiled egg. Stupid fat prick, stupid fat prick. No one gives a fuck about a stupid fat prick. Nobody listens to what you have to say because you're a stupid fat prick. It's pretty warm today, and I am running around like a lunatic, which is exactly what I like to do. Moving as quickly as I possibly can. My favourite activity. But damn, it's sweaty work. My hair's flipping sweaty already. Oh well, this is exactly what I asked for. Exercise. When I say I asked for, I don't mean like in any sort of strange kind of way. I just mean that I wanted to do exercise. Obviously on my own terms when I want to, and not when I don't want to. So I've been doing a fair amount already, just walking about, running about, sort of like a fast walk, I would say. And I've already kind of maxed out on caffeine. I did get an energy drink, but I'm not going to drink it yet. Just going to keep walking and stay outside, stay active, stay fit, stay healthy. That is really the goal, the priority. There's nothing else that I really would like to do apart from that. That's what I like to do. Just work away at walking and exercising, staying in good shape. The only way to do that is to keep moving, keep working that body. I saw this crazy TikTok yesterday of like all these women that are just like bouncing up and down on trampolines all crazily to like dance music. And I was like, first I was kind of like, wow, impressive. But then I was like, fucking hell, this is annoying, because then more of those videos started coming up. I don't just want to keep seeing like the same kind of video over and over again. I don't give a shit. Maybe once it's at least got some novelty, it's interesting. But you just keep doing basically the exact same video over and over again. Why the fuck would I want to watch that? There's sort of like small differences, I guess, or some that sort of make every video stand out. But I don't know. It's not for me. I mean, maybe it's not all like that. I just saw 2 videos, and so I've made quite a flippant judgment call based on those 2 videos, thinking basically they're all the same when they're probably not. I don't know. So I ended up walking past my friend's house, and he saw me out of the window, and he came out running to see me. Then we just hung out for a bit. I can't remember, don't know exactly how long. I guess it's been about an hour, maybe 2, not sure actually. Don't know what time it is now. Oh, it's just gone 1. It was alright, we just talked about stuff. And now just left him. So I'm just taking a little walk through the park before looping back around, coming out, and I guess probably going back towards the house. Still nice enough outside. Pretty sunny. Everything is looking green, or greener than it was. Greeny and yellowy. Some nice daffodils over there. Got all these little flowers popping up, different colours. Some little purple ones, some white ones, some yellow ones. Just a bunch of different flowers, as you would expect in the spring. The spring scenery. So I'm doing a bit of a detour through the park. And I'm going to pop out the other side and start heading back towards my house. It's a pretty good walk from here. It's probably 30 minutes, probably around about 30 minutes.
Just let me know if you're happy for me to go ahead with that.
And then once I get back there, probably just want to get dosed up on caffeine again. Make some coffee. Not too tired, not too energetic either really. Just somewhere in the middle. I'd rather be alone right now, really. Which is why I left my friend to himself. Felt a little bit bad about doing that, really. But yeah, I kind of just want to do my own thing, and I am really just focusing on trying to maximize footage for the video. That's kind of all I really care about at the moment. So I'm just always working on that, really. Hi. It's not bad out here. It's pretty nice, but still don't like too much. I like to break it up a little bit, keep it in bursts, and I'm still not too comfortable or too familiar with filming outside. I keep it pretty balanced. Spend some time outside, spend some time inside. I can't really say I have a preference for one or the other. It's not really like that. Not a general preference. Preferences are sort of like momentary states that sort of just appear and disappear based on fleeting emotions, you know. And a big part of the drivers for motivation is to always be going towards whatever it is you don't have, or wherever it is you're not. So you have to sort of set that as a preference. You know, it's just kind of like, well, I've been outside for a while, so I think I'll head back, spend some time indoors. And then after being indoors for a while, I kind of go, well, I've been indoors for a while, so I think I'll probably head out, spend some time outdoors. A bit of the grass is greener, but I think that's basically just human nature to be like that. Always kind of want what you don't have. I mean, not always. There's times when I appreciate the moment that I'm in and all of that, but I've got to create more activity, more movement, and I've got to keep myself working harder. So that means basically changing up the dynamic more often, and more often saying, all right, I've got to go. It is a long and tiring walk back to my house, but that's a good thing. And the reason that's a good thing is that I'm gonna have to get used to doing exactly that very soon. Much more long and tiring walks, because that is really what it feels like to be living in London on a daily basis. There's a lot of stress and strife, a lot of hard work goes into going anywhere, and the pace of the city just carries so much momentum. You just end up going so much further than you would being in other places. So I'm not complaining, I'm just stating the fact that it is a long and tiring walk, and I'm all for it, because I've been saying this all the time, that basically I am looking for all the opportunities to do more exercise, and I'm taking them. I want to stay really fit, and my goal, like I've said, is once I've moved, my goal is to join a gym in Kensington and start working out there every day. Combined with doing the YouTube videos, I think that's a pretty good formula for health and happiness. It is for me. Anyway, I did give a big long speech on this yesterday, so if you want to hear that, go back to yesterday's video and have a listen to what I was talking about. Basically just talking about that and showing a bit of my sort of workout routine, some of the exercises that I do, lifting the weights, doing the stair runs, doing the squat raises. I'd like to find even more exercises that I can do as well as those. And I'm sure I will. But right now, I've got my sort of staples that I stick to. And I don't want to overcomplicate things. I also do a lot of walking, which is a good sort of basic staple exercise. Most people can do that. Obviously, if you've got like some sort of disability, then it's probably better to recommend. It's probably better to focus on doing like whatever you can do. From a seat or whatever. But if you've got like good use of your arms, you can always lift some weights. You get a bunch of different size weights, from very small to very large, and just focus on doing what you can. It's definitely something that you can do. You might not know what it is, but if you think about it, you can find a way to do some kind of exercise. I forgot to vlog anything, but I think it's just because it's kind of nice. Still blue skies, sunny, sun shining, rather beautiful. But yeah, went into Greg's, got a cup of tea, hot drink on a hot day. I just drink hot drinks all year round. It can never be too hot. Wait, actually, no, you can. Okay, I'll take that back. But yeah, I'm still walking home. It is quite a long walk. I'm much more than halfway now. Probably about another 10 minutes until I get back to the house. And then I think I've got to sit down and have a look at my emails, see what's going on there. Wow, I really cannot believe that my computer was on that entire time that I was out. I guess it just stays on unless I turn it off. I thought it had a kind of like a timeout function. Maybe it's a lot longer than that. I don't know. Anyway, I've just come back in the house. So I'm just going to be carrying on the video from here. Might make some more coffee. Could do with losing this hat really. It's really warm outside. So it seems a little bit unnecessary to have that. Camera's down to 56% battery. But anyway, I'm going to take it back out. Had my coffee now, and going to head back outside for more sunshine. The day's not over. Not yet. Wow, God, that's bright. Just come back out again. Don't really want to be out, to be honest. Kind of want to like take a nap, have something to eat, stay in the house. So I don't really know why I've come out, but I am out as As uninteresting as that is the content of the video. I might just sort of give up for a while. Go home, and like I said, have a nap, have something to eat. But don't know really if I want to do that either. I don't really know what I want to do. I'm not sure. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. Probably just end up going back inside, talking to the camera a bit more, watching YouTube videos. It doesn't feel very productive, but I can't really be arsed being productive right now. I don't really have the energy. Maybe I do just need more coffee. I did just down a coffee. I either need to like wait until that actually has an effect, or have another one, I guess. Yeah, I think I'll just go back and have another one. So I need some more energy. I might take some more ginkgo biloba as well. I think I did take 2 this morning. And I might take another 2. I think that's what I did yesterday. I did get a lot of exercise done yesterday, which was pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna go make some more coffee. I'm tired. I'm not hungry. Not really. But I'm sort of tempted by the look of food. I think the next sort of experimentation that I'm going to do is going to be, what is it? Lentils? What is it? I've got loads of something. Oh, I've got loads of lentils and cannellini beans. So that's going to be like the next experimentation. I'm going to do like lentils, basically with all of the different kind of fish things that I've got. I've got mussels. I don't know if these are still okay. Oh, it says they should be alright until 2027. So they should be okay. But I opened another jar of mussels where a lot of the liquid had already come out and it sort of smelled a bit dodgy. So I ended up thinking that's probably no good to eat that. Probably can't eat that. I do still have a good deal of food supplies left. Not sure exactly how long these will last for. I might actually count it. If I have 2 meals a day, then I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48. 48. Wait, oh, I don't fucking know how I've calculated that. 48 meals. 2 meals a day would last for 24 days. So that's a month. Almost a month. So I've probably got 1, 2, 3. Probably still got like 4 months of food left. Might be more, might be less. I should actually say on this day, I'm going to check
in 4 months what I've got left. Or I'm going to say on the vlog when I've finished all the food, when it's run out. And yeah, like I said, not exactly sure when that'll be. Anyway, I am pretty tired. So I guess I'm staying in the house again for a bit. Might take some more stimulants. Make another coffee. Take another couple of ginkgo bilobas. And then see if that gets me going. I've got to stay focused. I will stay focused. Focus on me. Focus on me. Hey, focus on me. 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 Ariana Grande cappuccino. Ariana Grande mocha. Great jokes, eh? Speaking of coffee. Oh my god, I can't even be asked to fucking make a coffee. That's how fucking can't be arsenous I am. I'll take a second. I'll take a breath. Deep breath. Okay, just calm down. Calm down. Take a breath. Focus on your breath. Okay. Now get up and make a coffee. Stop being such a fucking lazy idiot. I'm currently sipping on a cup of Kenko. Oh, jeez, man. Why does this camera have to ruin the shit? Okay. Kenko Smooth. Well-rounded medium roast. 100% responsibly sourced. It's the red top one. I'm not sure what the difference is between the red top one and the other colour tops, but I should find out. There's another idea for a YouTube video. I should actually write all my ideas down. When I say there's an idea for a YouTube video, I should have like a book nearby with an empty page and a pen. But I don't have that. Anyway, I've said it to the camera, so what's the difference? I can say it to the camera or I can write it down on a piece of paper. Is there a difference? No, there isn't. I do believe that I will eventually do everything that I want to do. And it'll be much more straightforward to go from thought to manifestation. But I've got to have the money, I've got to have the funds. I mean, I could go to the supermarket and steal in order to create my YouTube videos. However, I don't want to do that, to be honest. So if I want to compare the different Kenko coffees, I'm going to have to do that. How am I going to have to do that? I'm gonna have to do that when I've got the money to do it, so then I can just go and buy. I'll basically be like, all right, I'm gonna go to the shop. I'm gonna buy every different Kenko coffee. Then I'm gonna pour them out, and I'll make like a cup of each one, and then just have a little sip, do a little taste test, and then decide which one that I prefer. And then I could involve lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of other coffee brands, which is another good idea. That could be what I could do when I first get to Kensington. Basically just buy every variety of coffee that I can find, and then do a comparative taste test of all the different coffees and see which one I like the most. And then I imagine I'd have so much coffee then in the flat that I'd have enough coffee to last me throughout that entire year. And I wouldn't mind drinking the ones that I don't quite like quite as much. That's okay with me. But at least then I'll know which one is my particular favourite. And then I can keep buying that one. And then maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I could do another comparative taste test of all the coffees, because that's one of my most used foods. I mean, I should really do that with all the other kind of basic sort of staple foods that it's possible to get. I should do taste tests for all of them for YouTube videos, and that is exactly what I would like to do, and I think I will do that as soon as I have the ability to do so. I've got all sorts of food on the shelves for the moment. I might have a little look through them and think about what I can do later. There's one thing that I've not done for a while. Let's just look at this shelf in particular. I've got new potatoes. Let's pull everything to the side. So we've got new potatoes, new potatoes, new potatoes, new potatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 new potatoes. Oh, I don't know if I was filming that properly. Oh well. 5 new potatoes. Then I've got baked beans and sausages, Branston. I've got a chicken korma. Then I've got a tin of these burgers, Westler's Economy, 4 burgers in onion gravy. Then we've got a tin of Marrow's giant marrow fat peas. Then it's just a tin of Heinz beans. And then these 2 tins of Wild Pacific red salmon. So the best things that I can see in there that would do well, I would think, would be roast potatoes. I've got all those potatoes there. They're peeled already in water
in the can, in the tin. And all I have to do with them is just add a little salt, and then shove them in the oven. That's about it. Let me check if I've got any salt. I seem to remember that I was running out of salt, which I am here. There's a tiny little bit left in that. I'm not sure if I've got more. Ah, yes, I have got one full one. That's good. Still got some stock cubes left. Oh, I've got loads of stock cubes left. That's good. 2 packs of stock cubes left. Got some noodles. Also got some lentils. Packs of lentils. So yeah, I've got pretty good food levels at the moment, which is fantastic. It's good to be well stocked. I did give a lot of what I had stocked up on the shelves to 2 of my friends, because when I sort of made the decision that I was going to be moving, I just started immediately to get rid of everything that I could in the house. And that sort of imperative drive to do that has slowed down a little bit after realizing that I'm not in any real rush, at least not right now, because there's no sale confirmed. And even after a sale is confirmed, there is still a wait that comes along with that. So there's no real rush for me to get everything out of the house. I will have to do that, but it'll be once the sale is confirmed. What I can actually do with this house between now and the sale taking place, I'm not really sure if I can do anything. I could take on like a really short-term tenant. But I don't think I'm going to be doing that at all, because I don't have the beds anymore. I got rid of the beds. And I don't even think that I really want anyone in the house. I don't think I really want to share a living space with anybody else ever again. I think I always want to have my own space now, no matter what. That's a bit of a resolute sort of place that I've come to, where I do now think I very, very much need and want my own space. Or I don't need it, but I do want it. So if I have a choice, I will do everything I can to maintain that. So yeah, I've done a lot with this house, and I'm just thinking, what am I going to be doing now? Moving forward. There's nothing that I really want to do now, apart from just leave this area, go somewhere else.
and just spend a lot of time moving about. And I'll pretty much never, ever, ever come back here ever again. Not as far as I know. I just don't want to. I don't particularly like it where I live. It's not a particularly great place to be. And I don't really find it that interesting. There's not that many interesting people doing many interesting things. And I really like to be constantly associated with interesting people doing interesting things. There was definitely a point in my life where that was very, 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 very common. Very, 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 very normal to be associated with more people doing more interesting things. So I would like to go back to the way it was. And I know for a fact that if there is a place where there are more people doing more interesting things in the United Kingdom, that will be London, primarily, first and foremost. That has got to be number one. There are other places to go, for sure, that are great, that have a lot going on. But number one is London. That just seems like a factual statement to me. I'm not sure that I can really contest that even myself. So I want to be, in and amongst creative types. And I want to be, surrounded by interesting people. And that means going. I'm definitely not staying here. There's no possibility that that is going to happen. Like, I have to go. It's just a question of time. It's just a question of when someone decides they want to buy this property. I do hope that it does sell. I don't really know how long it would take with it not selling for me to have to start considering other options. I'm not sure I really have time to sort of wait around waiting for this house to sell. But it seems like I don't really have a choice. I just have to wait, and it's going to take as long as it takes. I'm not happy about that, but I'm becoming more comfortable with the idea. I will, in that case, have to keep finding things to do in the meantime to keep me occupied, or try to find more ways to get the house sold. So, anyway, it's nearly 3 p.m. and I'm now just sitting here on the computer having to think about what to do. I don't like all this internet stuff. Can't be bothered wasting my time on it. YouTube videos, yes. Everything else, no. Watching YouTube videos, no. Making YouTube videos, yes. This is the way. So, I've got to figure out now what it is that I'm going to do. I've got to do something. I'm not sure what. But I do have to do something. Should be a job, really, that I'll get on with. Just thinking. Oh man. Mia, 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 Mia. Mia, Mia, Mia. Mia, 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 Mia. Mia, Mia, Mia. I've got something I can do. And it is this. I have to do the thinking. I don't like doing the thinking, but I do have to do it. It does reward me with ideas, obviously. That's why thinking is a good thing to do. Despite what has been said previously by stupid people. If someone says it's not good to think, they're obviously not very clever, are they? Because all the smartest people are the ones that think more than anyone. So obviously thinking is a good idea. Anyway, I was watching Noel Fielding interviews with Noel Fielding yesterday. Or well, I was watching interviews of Noel Fielding and Julian Barrett on the Jonathan Ross show as they were talking about the Mighty Boosh. And I was really surprised by how awkward and uncomfortable they seemed doing the interviews. I guess I really thought they would be very, very confident. And I guess I was mistaken. I'm thinking about making something to eat, but I'm not that bothered if I don't have something to eat. I'm just drinking some coffee still as I'm trying to re-energize myself. But I'm not really all that sure that I would even like to go back out again. today. It's now 3 p.m. and I've sort of had my fill of being out there, and I'm not really feeling like I want to or need to get any more time outside. Everything's okay in here. The things that I'm really trying to focus on more than anything is just coming up with new ways to do business and new ideas for the things that I can try in order to see more success. There is one thing that I do think is very helpful for anyone that wants to be successful, and I think that is reading books, reading as many books as possible, increasing the number of books you've read will most definitely put you more firmly on the path to success. It's got to be done. Education, it's got to be the primary and most common path to success in life. The more highly educated you are, the more you are set up with the ability to go into the world and to achieve something great that you wish to achieve. So, educate yourself. That's great advice. Pay attention to that which catches your attention. That's good advice. That's basically what education is. Find something you're interested in. Pay attention. Listen. Gain more insight. Improve your ability to think. And therefore improve your ability to perform. Sounds pretty logical to me. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Is I'm going to be reading more books in an attempt to gain more knowledge and insight into what it is that I can do to try and improve the situations that I find myself in life. And it is always and only ever going to be with more and more time and attention spent on the effort that there will be more reward of the results that you're looking for as a result. That has to be the way that it is. That is the way that it is. It's true. The more time and energy that you spend studying an area of interest, the more knowledgeable you become, therefore the more proficient you become, therefore the more ability you have, therefore the more attention you get, therefore the more praise you receive, therefore the more reward that you see as a result of the work that you've done in trying to improve your ability in a given area. Sounds like very straightforward stuff. Anyway, so when it comes to the conversation of what is it that I'm going to be doing right now, the answer is, well, I am doing it. Actually, I am doing what I am going to be doing right now, which is this, talking to the camera. And the point of talking to the camera is to see what comes out of my mouth. And I'm having a conversation with myself, basically. And the point of having a conversation with myself is to develop my own relationship with myself, to develop my own understanding of myself. And the reason that this is useful is because the more I talk, the more I really figure out what it is that I'm actually interested in, what it is that I would like to do, what my goals are, what I care about. The more I speak, the more those become apparent to me, because I don't always know what it is that I want. I have to talk it through over and over and over again. Many, many, many times, over and over. I've got to talk through what I'm thinking, and I need to hear it out loud so that I can gain a recognition of what it even is that I want. So I have to go through the process of thinking out loud, talking to the camera, is one way to do it. And for me, it's the way that works. And I'm quite happy to include these thinking out loud sections as part of my video, because I think that's what other people are interested in as well, is listening to somebody who's just figuring it out, thinking out loud. I think it's very important. I think that's a key aspect to maintaining your mental health, is understanding yourself. And the more that I understand myself, the more that I see my ability increasing for me being able to get done what it is that I want to get done. A lot of what sort of comes before getting anything done or making anything happen is a lot of conversation and a lot of thought and a lot of speaking about what it is that I do want to do. That has to take place before anything can be done, in my opinion, because there's a certain sort of level of clarity of mind that only actually becomes apparent after having sort of run through the ideas several times, like many more times than you might think you would need to. You have to just keep going over the same information over and over and over and over again until there is kind of like a critical mass of the work that's gone into doing that. You sort of reach a point which is like the tipping point, and then it sort of tips over, and then it spills out, and then you have that's when you have the release of the new ability to think differently, and that leads to coming into new situations and finding an increased ability to get done what it is that you want to get done. So it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of repetition, but you've got to put in the time, you've got to do the repetitions, and with enough of that, then you get to a place where it becomes very easy. Like, you've got to be willing to do the hard stuff basically as often as you can. Like, every chance that you get to do something difficult, you should take that, and continue to take those opportunities more and more. And the willingness to take on more and more difficult opportunities leads to your ability to find ease in doing whatever it is that you want to do. So it's the more you're willing to take on things that are hard, the easier it becomes. That's one way of putting it. Might seem like an obvious thing to say to some people, but it's worth explaining. Obviously, it kind of ties into what I'm saying. All of this is worth explaining because of the accumulative effect that comes from doing the repetitions. And the repetitions are the mantras of the things we say to ourselves, to each other. We speak out loud spells, and they have the magic power to create anything and everything. And it's realizing this and knowing this that we're all gifted with this ability to create with our thoughts and with our words. Knowing this means taking responsibility for and carefully analysing all that it is that is being said as there is a understanding of the direct relationship between word or thought and word and the word and the manifestation. Seems quite clear to me. So I just keep focusing on this one thing that I'm doing, which is creating this video on a daily basis. And that means hearing myself speak a lot more than I was doing before. But for me, this has been a very good process for the reasons that I explained earlier, which is that this has given me a much more increased ability to actually gain a sense of clarity in my thinking and understanding of what it is that I really want. What is it that I really want to do, sort of with my life generally, and how do the specifics of that actually come into play, realistically in my life. What are the actual literal steps that I have to take in order to get to the place that I want to be, whether that's literally, mentally, metaphorically, or whatever. That place that I want to be is basically the achievement of my goal. So wherever I set my goal, that's what I'm working towards, and I just have to be ready and willing to take all the steps necessary to get there. So long as it seems right to me, so long as I can accept that, so long as I can accept the steps as they're presented, as they appear, then obviously that means that I can take them because they seem reasonable enough to me. And the clarity that comes from sort of thinking out loud is that as these steps become apparent to me, I also get to keep sort of thinking in more depth and breaking down the ideas of what these steps are into smaller and smaller pieces so that they become much more easy to handle. And that means making everything so simple that anyone could do it. The only way to really get anything done is to make it seem so easy that you can do it. And without doing that, you're probably just not going to do anything. Because if it seems difficult, then there's quite commonly an unwillingness to take on anything that seems difficult. Now, this actually goes against the sort of advice that I tried to sort of give out before, which was be willing to take on difficult challenges as often as you possibly can. And that's what gives you the resilience to deal with life. And it also makes everything that seems difficult seem much easier. Because if you've done many, many things before, which at the time seemed difficult, you'll realise that the more the time that you spent doing those things that seemed difficult, the easier they became, both physically and in the way that you think about them. They seemed easier physically because you'd built the physical strength to do it, whatever it is. Let's say it's going to the gym. Going to the gym every day. If you go to the gym every day, at first you might think, oh my God, this is so hard. I just have to keep doing these exercises. I'm struggling. This is difficult, whatever. But the more often you go to the gym, the easier you'll find it to be. And so it becomes physically easier because you're developing the physical muscles, but it also becomes mentally easier because you're developing the mentality that you have around the activity. And most of the developing the mentality around the activity comes from talking about what you're doing to somebody else or to yourself, whether that's in your head or out loud. Those conversations are what develop the thought processes around activities, and the more developed the thought process is around an activity, the more sides to that activity have been considered. So there's a more varied approach, and that means seeing things in a way that tends to simplify. And it can bring further complications to be thinking in further detail, because there's new areas of understanding that become apparent that might not have been thought about previously. And so when you start thinking about these different considerations that you now have to take on, then you have to sort of adjust your plans or adjust your understandings of other ideas that relate to those in some way, or have some sort of connection in terms of the equation of it all, because there's a lot of like changing X affects Y, and it's like that in anything, in every business. If you change one thing, it affects many, 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 many other things, if not everything. And it is kind of like that with everything. If you change one thing, it affects everything. But changing things is exactly how new experiences come to fruition. And without changing anything, there are no new experiences. You have to change a thought that you have to change a behavior that you have to change a pattern or a routine that you follow, and then that will bring about the kinds of things that you want to see happen. And unless you're willing to make changes, then you're not going to see your goals come into fruition. The only way you're going to see your goals come into fruition, and that means you achieving what it is that you want to achieve in your life, the only way that's going to happen is if you're willing to make changes. And you have to consider making changes in every single way that they could be. You have to be willing to look at everything and decide whether that should change and how that should change. And if you embrace your ability to do that, then it really puts you in the position of power where you can genuinely make almost anything actually happen. I decided to cook up a little something. And what I decided to cook up is this. In that pan is 1 tin of lentils and 1 tin of salmon, as well as some stock. So I would title that, if I were to give it a name, basically a lentil and salmon soup. I'm thinking about what the next meal I should make should be, and I've got a bit of spaghetti left that I could do with using up, and also some tins of chopped tomatoes. So I think I might make some pasta with a sauce, which would be chopped tomatoes, mixed with possibly some diced chicken. That would work. I am still thinking about doing the roast potatoes that I was talking about before as well. But I'm not going to do them straight away. I've already got the lentil salmon soup cooking up, so I guess I should eat that first before I start getting too carried away making more food. Although it is good just to have some food there to snack on. But then I have got one second. I have got these. I've got these to snack on. Itsu crispy seaweed thins. It is, in fact, as described, seaweed. And it's basically seaweed with salt on it. I'll show you. So, in that box, there's several packets like this. Itsu crispy seaweed thins, sea salt. 24 calories per pack. Open it up, it looks like this. Some green stuff inside. And if you pull them out, they're basically sheets of seaweed like this. Tastes pretty good. I like them. Kind of tastes like the smell of the ocean. But you know what? Really tasty. I love them. So I've got a whole load of those on the side to snack on. I keep thinking about this this demonic guy that I used to know. I used to kind of be friends with him, and we played in a band together. But he was just too demonic. So I kind of stopped being friends with him in the end. Poor guy. I hope he's alright. I hope he's doing well. That soup is going to be very hot for a while. And I have got one bowl. I really have to do the washing up again. I always let it build up really, really high. Much higher than I think I should let it build up. But it's just so easy to just not bother doing it. However, you know, or no, not however. Hang on. Looks quite interesting. I am looking forward to eating this. And after this, I'm going to be taking a bath. Because I ran a bath not too long ago. And it's sitting upstairs. cooling down a little bit before I jump in. It's definitely time for a wash. I had a very sweaty day yesterday after doing a lot of exercise. It felt great, and I want to do it again. So I'm going to keep adding on to the plan. Sorry, got something in my throat. I'm going to keep adding on to the plan. And the plan is eat this lentil salmon soup. Go upstairs, take a bath, get clean, wash my hair, put some fresh clothes on. And then come back downstairs and then lift some more weights again. Keep exercising. I might go outside again after doing that. For some more exercise. So I'm really looking forward to that. Another workout. I really love working out at the moment. It's a great feeling. Anyway, I'm going to finish off this soup, so I'll see you in a minute. Alright, I finished the soup. It was okay. Started off good, and then I got a big chunk of stock cube, which obviously didn't stir in properly. So, note to self for future cooking endeavours. What I should do with that is I should put the stock cube into a mug, add hot water, stir that up, get it dissolved first, and then chuck that in the pan with everything else. And then it'll be nice and evenly distributed. Camera's down to 23% battery. Not sure how much footage I've got today. Doesn't really matter. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The video is as long as the video is. If you don't want to watch it, go away. Stop watching. Don't complain to me. I don't give a single fuck what you think. If you want to watch the video, you can watch it. If you don't want to watch it, fuck off. Don't tell me about it. Or I should be slightly more polite than that. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. That's okay with me. I'm not desperate for anyone to watch this. I don't care at all whether anyone watches this or not. I respect everybody's free choice to decide what they do want to watch and what they don't want to watch. But if you don't want to watch this because it's too long for you, then go ahead and watch something else. I don't care. The fact that you might even think that I would care is baffling to me. Why would I possibly give a shit what you think about how long this video is? Sorry to anyone who's having to hear this who's not actually thinking any of this stuff. It's not directed at you. It's mostly directed at a specific idiot that has been trying to tell me that my videos are too long. I don't even know what that means. Too long for what? Too long for who? If they're too long for him, why would I possibly give a fuck? I don't want him to watch my videos. I don't care. If he wants to, he can. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. So I really don't get why the stupid fucking moron would possibly even consider trying to share his opinion with me. As if it means anything. It has nothing to do with him. I really don't give a shit about what the audience of these videos think. I care if they have something nice to say, if they appreciate and if they understand. But if you don't understand, that's not because there's an issue with me and what I'm doing. That's clearly an issue with you. You don't understand. So you need to find a way to understand. You're too stupid to understand. So it's not because I'm doing something that I shouldn't. It's because you're too stupid to understand what it is that I am doing. It's baffling to me why someone would want to hand out this kind of unsolicited advice. Advice that I haven't asked for, advice that I don't want, and advice that I don't care about at all. I have no interest in listening to. What incredible naivety from a very, very, very stupid idiot. So yeah, I do apologise if you've had to listen to me ranting. It's aimed at a specific individual or at specific individuals, those who have some kind of issue with the way that I make my YouTube video. I don't have to make this YouTube video. I choose to make this YouTube video. And the person that I make this YouTube video for is me. I post it online so that if other people would like to watch it, they can. But if they don't want to, they absolutely don't have to. And I don't think that they should watch it if they don't want to. So I really, 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 really don't want to hear the opinions of people who don't want to watch the video for some reason. If you don't want to watch the video, just don't watch the video. Don't tell me about why you don't want to watch the video. I don't give a fuck. I don't care at all. And if you think I do, you're a fucking idiot. You have no idea what is going on. You are incredibly stupid if you think I care about your opinion. I don't care. I'm not going to change what I'm doing to suit anyone because it doesn't affect anyone at all. You have a choice whether you want to watch this. So if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Right? Isn't that the solution? Yes, that is the solution. The solution is not me having to change what I'm doing in any way. I don't have to change what I'm doing in any way. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing the way that I want to. I'm making YouTube videos the way that I would like to make a YouTube video. And the reason for that is because I'm doing it for me, not for you. Alright? Get that through your thick fucking skull, dumbass. Anyway, I'm about to take a bath. I can't show you that because I will in fact be completely naked. And obviously I can't put that on YouTube. Sorry, I know you really want to see that. Yeah, I'm obviously joking, right? Don't be fucking stupid again, right? Don't be a fucking dick. I don't give a fuck what you have to say, idiot. Alrighty then. Just had a bath. Now I'm having a laugh. Ah ha 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 ha. No, I'm not having a laugh at all, actually. So I'm nice and clean, like a queen. Clean like a queen. Just another queen on the chessboard. I'm just another queen. Just another queen on the chessboard. 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 Just another. Hey there. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, just had a bath. Oh yeah, and then I said I was gonna do some exercise, lift some more weights. Oh my god, my scalp, man. Why is it flaking like that? I've got flipping E45 shampoo, which I just used, which is supposed to help treat a dry, flaky scalp. But I mean, I don't know if it's working or not. It doesn't look like it. Anyway, I have had a wash, so everything's clean. My hair is wet. And yeah, I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do, which is lift some more weights. I'm not going to film it because, well, I just don't really see what the point in filming that is. But I am going to do it. So, here we go. I have lifted some weights. And then, had a little lie down. Shut my eyes for a bit. Meditate. I think I've realised that's the correct word for what it is that I'm doing. I was saying that I was calling what I was doing having a nap, but it's not really having a nap. It's more closing my eyes and allowing some of the chaos of the mind to just sort of return back to peace and equanimity. And it just takes a couple of minutes of just sitting there. Sitting there, I guess you could be sitting there or lying down comfortably. It just takes a couple of minutes of doing that to return to a state of peace of mind. Because, well, it really feels like it's talking at length, as I have been doing throughout the day today. It's like stirring the pot of the mind, and eventually, when enough stirring has been done, you have to leave it to settle. Another analogy would be, it's like putting the pan on the heat. you let it heat up, and then when it's hot enough and you've sort of reached it's now cooked, it's now done, it's now sort of cooked enough to eat it, you have to turn off the heat, take it off the heat, leave it to cool down a little until it's the right temperature to be eaten. And so that's exactly kind of what it's like, talking and taking part in activities and being part of the world all throughout the day. It's like stirring the pot or heating the pan. And it really just brings the mind back to a single point of focus and calms the nervous system, all those nerves that are being stimulated just calm down and cool down as we close the eyes and allow the mind to come to a state of rest again. And then peace can be found. So, now that I've come back to peace, I am here to again talk to the video. And what I'm thinking about talking to the video about is, as usual, what it is that I would like to do, and what it is that I would like to achieve. So the question is, what is the goal that I'm setting for myself as something that I would like to accomplish? I don't know what's going on outside. I don't know if it was police or ambulance, some kind of emergency vehicle, but they're not stopping outside mine. It doesn't look like, so I don't think I need to really pay any attention to that. So, yeah. What I'm thinking about, as I often am, is ways for me to make more money. Because that is really what I need right now. And ways for me to make more money without having to do anything. Now, there's a good question to ask. How can I make more money without doing anything? Obviously, I can. Obviously, it is possible. And the reason why I can, and the reason why it is possible, is because anything is possible. So there is no goal that can be chosen that is not possible. Any goal can be accomplished. Now, obviously, if I want to make more money without doing anything, and I'm asking, how do I do that? Well, it's quite obvious, right? Don't do anything. But that is not something that can be done. Because there's no will involved. And for something to be done, there has to be willpower that is being engaged in some way. That aims to try and make something happen, a specific desire. So, the question I have there is, what is a specific aim that I could try to achieve? And how would I achieve that specific aim? And I'm not sure what the answer to that question is, but that is perfectly acceptable because I don't actually need to answer that question. I can be just okay as I am without answering that question. I'm a bit tired. The internet sucks. There's nothing good on there. I've got no money to do anything good. So I'm just watching YouTube videos. It feels like a waste of time. But there's no jobs available. And so I'm left here complaining. So that's just what I'm going to do. Just going to complain to my camera until the complaints have run out, which they do quite quickly. And I don't really know what else to do now apart from just talking to my camera, because this seems like a job that may eventually pay. So I'm investing in the idea that one day I might get some money out of this. But it's not just that. I do actually really like making the videos, and it is a good focus. And even when I do have work, I'm still going to continue making my YouTube videos. And if they don't want me to do that, then I just won't work there anymore. I'm only going to work at a place that says that believes it's okay to have a YouTube channel, to make YouTube videos, and to be doing that on a daily basis. And I'm not interested in working anywhere at all where they are not okay with that. I'm not really interested in working anywhere at all Full stop. I don't really like being around stupid people. And stupid people have jobs. So I don't really think that it's for me. I'd actually much rather not have any money at all and not have to put up with any stupid people. Yeah, it's a much better way to live. And that is absolutely what I like to do. So I am very glad that YouTube is here. And I'm very glad that I have a camera and I have a computer and I can upload my videos because I do really like to do that for me and for no one else. So I'm going to continue making my YouTube videos exactly the way that I would like to make them, and I'm not going to be changing the formula of how I do that. And the reason that I'm not going to be changing the formula of how I do that is because there is no formula. The idea that I am doing this in some kind of contrived or I guess the word would be contrived. The idea that I'm doing this in some kind of contrived way is simply incorrect. I'm not. And my daily vlog is just a video that is made up of all the videos that I take throughout a day. And how I decide how many videos to take throughout a day is that I don't decide. I do as much as I would like to. And that's all I do. No more, no less. There's no decision being made about how much I'm filming. I'm simply filming as many videos throughout the day as I would like to, and then that gets compiled into one daily vlog. And that is my daily vlog. And that's the end of the story in regards to that. So everything is good at the moment. I'm all good and I'm very happy. And I have no reason to really try and do anything else any other way apart from the way that I'm doing what I'm doing. And all I really care about is staying true to my own self, meaning that I simply follow how I feel in every moment and continue to do whatever I would like to do as and when the feelings are strong, then I will simply follow those in whatever direction I would like to. And that is my plan. That is my plan for the future. And that is my plan for the present. There is no other plan that I need to think about at all. I don't really need a plan other than that to do exactly what I want to do when I want to do that. Why would I possibly need to think about anything else apart from that? The answer is that I don't. I am in full and 100% control of my own decision making process. And for that reason, there is no decision making process. There is the one singular me. That is the only me. And I follow the ideas that comes up with, and I allow the feelings of that, which I refer to as me, to guide me in the direction that I want to go in. So there is an I, there is an I, there is a me. So there are three of me. And they're all okay. As long as they're all okay, then I'm okay with them. It is very simple to explain what is going on. Really, there is fundamentally a duality in the nature of a person. You have that, I have that. We all have that. And I can explain what I mean by that. What I mean by that is you have a recognition of what you want. But the you who recognizes what you want can be seen as not the you that wants. So it can be seen clearly, plainly. There can be more than one idea of who you are. And those ideas of who you are interact with each other, and they make up what you refer to as yourself. There are multiple points of awareness that make up the one you. As you refer to different thoughts and different feelings that you have, you are looking at what appears to be multiple people, and they all exist inside of you in some way. So, if the question is, who really are you? You are the one that is aware of all the comings and goings, all the thoughts and the feelings that appear and disappear, all those characters, all those personalities, all those people that you play are not you, but you can see them, and you are that one, the one that sees them. Now, there will always be another idea of who you are that comes into play, and this can be seen when you realize that the one who sees can itself be seen. That means there are two of you, and one is looking at the other one. So, which one are you? The real answer is you're both of those. And you're neither of those. You are one, but not the other. And you are both, but you are neither. So, if you can explain that, I would like to hear what you have to say. It's a thought that can be contemplated, and by thinking about what I've said, then more awareness can become apparent to you in your mind. So, I've made a lot of videos by now. Made 55 videos on 55 days in a row. And I've not really watched any of them back at all. And I'm okay with that. I'm basically just done with that day as soon as that day is done. And then I move on to the next one. And make another video. So all the video is a documentary of my day, and I use the camera in a way I use the camera basically I just film myself throughout my day and share whatever things I think about that I want to share with the camera. And that is what my YouTube channel is for. So it's been great so far, and I'm absolutely 100% going to be continuing doing these videos without question, because nothing is stopping me. If people really think that their thoughts about what I'm doing are going to actually make me like not make any more videos, wow, they really have no idea quite how incorrect they are. Anyway, I've not read for a little while in the vlog, so I'm going to read a little bit more of this book, Wild Thing, The Short Spellbinding Life of Jimi Hendrix. I think I'm on page 32. If I repeat anything that I've read before, then that is just what is going to happen. So, no big deal for me. Like I said, I'm only making these videos for me. So I'm not thinking at all about what anyone else would think of them. And I don't really care. Okay. More successful was his audition with some high school friends calling themselves the Velvetones. They were a band in the old-fashioned sense, with horns and saxes, who did not simply play a set, but performed a revue with dance routines in the James Brown style. Their repertoire mixed R&B with white pop instrumentals like Dwayne Eddy's Rebel Rouser and the theme from the Peter Gunn television series. They found plenty of work, including a weekly appearance at the popular Birdland Club on 22nd Avenue. Jimi's first featured spot was the four-note bass riff in Bill Doggett's Honky Tonk. Leon had just been collared by the welfare authorities yet again and returned to foster care, and Al and Jimi were sharing an apartment on First Hill. In those days, one of the Central District's roughest quarters, with prostitutes working just along the street and a juvenile detention centre opposite. Excuse me. The apartment was filthy and vermin infested and rendered even less attractive by Al's use of it as a store for his gardening equipment. Excuse me again. Not just heavy horticultural implements, but also toxic chemical insecticides. Nor was it a good rehearsal space for the Velvetones, since Al remained implacably hostile to Jimi's guitar even after buying it for him, and continued clubbing him around the head for playing left-handed, an unspeakable embarrassment for a 17-year-old in front of his friends. He soon took to leaving it at home. He soon took to leaving it at the home of a bandmate and only practicing there. Before very long, he had moved on to another local band, the Rocking Kings, more successful and sophisticated than the Velvetones, though performing in much the same revue style. On stage, they wore matching red jackets, which each member was expected to buy for himself. The jackets cost $5, and Jimi worked for our dad gardening for 5 days at $1 a day to get his. Leon recalls, he wouldn't even buy a candy bar. He was on the point of switching from the Velvetones to the Rocking Kings when disaster struck. One night he left the Supro Ozark backstage at the Birdland Club and had it stolen. He was traumatized by its loss and almost as much by the whooping he could expect at home, despite Al's loathing of his music. The guitar had not, of course, been insured, but thanks to his paltry pay from his father, a short-lived newspaper delivery job for the Seattle Post-Intelligencer, and a magnanimous whip round by his fellow Rocking Kings, he was able to replace it with a white Danelectro Silvertone, sold through the Sears Roebuck mail order catalogue, whose $49.95 price tag included a small amplifier. In recognition of his important new gig, he decided to follow the custom of many blues guitarists and give his instrument a woman's name. His mother's Lucille having already been taken by B.B. King, he chose Betty Jean after his current girlfriend, Betty Jean Morgan. The Rocking Kings rocked far and wide throughout Washington and across the Canadian border, packed into one beaten-up Mercury sedan, playing military bases or ballrooms like the 2,000-capacity Spanish Castle in the town of Kent, where the audiences were predominantly white but blacks weren't discriminated against. Now Jimi could learn from the guitarists in top regional bands such as the Fabulous Wailers from Tacoma, or visiting stars like Hank Ballard, African American despite his cowboyish name, and writer of a song called The Twist that would soon spark an international dance craze. As well as working with his own band, Jimi was avid to sit in with such larger fry, who ordinarily might not welcome an unknown 17-year-old. So he would inquire respectfully whether they could use an extra amp and might care to borrow his. Then, when it materialised on stage, he'd already be plugged into it. The Rocking Kings' star had always been their lead guitarist, Junior Heath, But Jimmy found other ways of attracting attention. It started when he found a pigeon feather and stuck it on his guitar, Leon recalls. Then he painted it red, wrote Betty Jean on the front, and hung it with the little tassels you used to get on Seagram's 7 whiskey bottles. Or he'd come on stage wearing a blouse. People used to ask me, where does Jimmy get his clothes from? And I'd say, his girlfriend. That was out with the other guys in the band, who were only about conformity. He was a hippie before anyone knew what a hippie was. The Rocking Kings disintegrated? They've spelt that incorrectly. The Rocking Kings disintegrated after a catastrophic trip to Vancouver when their beaten up Mercury finally gave out and their fee barely covered their bus fares back to Seattle. Their manager, Thomas James, formed a new band named Thomas and the Tomcats, keeping Jimmy on and giving him an expanded role, including a share of the background vocals. Much to his discomfort, as he thought his singing voice was too weak. Then out of nowhere came an opportunity that may come as news to the most hardcore Hendrix fans. Ray Charles, although Georgia-born, had been discovered in Seattle playing at the Rocking Chair Club and made his earliest recordings on the city's downbeat label. In July 1959, he released What Did I Say?, a song that lifted him out of the realm of race music, out of any genre in fact, save pure genius. Able to be stretched out almost indefinitely, it would come as a godsend to an unknown band called the Beatles, as they played all-night sessions at strip joints in Hamburg's Reeperbahn district. Grateful for the start Seattle had given him, Charles still made regular club appearances there. Early in 1960, he was in town again and looking for a backup guitarist. Someone recommended Jimmy and he got the job, Leon recalls. Even our dad was a little bit impressed by that. I was home again and Jimmy back to babysitting me, so he took me with him every night. It was a club called the Penthouse, where all the big jazz names like Wes Montgomery used to hang out. Jimmy got on real well with Ray. They played together for a few weeks and we'd have soul food afterwards. The movie about Ray's life with Jamie Foxx has a scene where his manager says to him, "You should never have left that kid back in Seattle." In October 1960, Jimmy dropped out of Garfield High School, giving up his former vague dreams of becoming either a painter or an actor. He would later claim to have been asked to leave for racist reasons. He'd been caught holding a white girl's hand in an art class whose female teacher had previously tried to grope him. He'd been caught holding a white girl's hand in an art class whose female teacher had previously tried to grope him and was getting her own back for his unresponsiveness. But the truth was that he'd cut so many classes to play music, there was no hope of his graduating. Apart from his father, who still nagged him incessantly to find an honest job working with his hands, like for example landscape gardening, everybody he knew expected him to become a pro musician after that amazing interlude with Ray Charles. Instead, he ended up in the US Army training as a parachutist in its 101st Airborne Division. His military service would be the most thoroughly fictionalized chapter in the life story he would feed to journalists after he turned into Jimmy, and was expected to sound as wild offstage as he did on it. To them, he would pretend to have been a hardened juvenile delinquent, one of a gang who were always getting into rumbles with bloody bastard cops and being thrown into jail. The truth was that throughout a near-feral childhood, he had managed to avoid gangs along with every other snare of impoverished inner-city youth. The first time he ever fell foul of Seattle's police department was in May 1961, when he was picked up for what has passed into legend as joyriding in stolen cars, However, the written confession he made at the police station was to petty larceny. A friend and I were playing around in an alley and we noticed a broken window in the back of a clothing store. We then got a clothes hanger which was lying on the ground and unbent it so we could stick it through the window and hook some of the clothes, which we did. The clothes that did not fit us we gave to a Christmas fund at school. Alright, I'm going to put that down for now. I had a little bit of a read. I'm making very, very slow progress on this book, especially compared to reading the last book that I read, which was The Story of the Streets by Mike Skinner. I have donated that book now to a charity shop as I had finished it. You know, maybe I would like to read it again one day, but if I want to read it again, I guess I will just buy it again. So I really do enjoy doing the reading, and I am probably going to continue doing more reading on the videos. As long as I keep enjoying it, then I will carry on doing it. So I'm going to be doing some more reading this evening, but that's going to be in the next video. So if you want to see that, you're going to have to watch the next one. So this is the end of video 55. And if you want to see more, come back tomorrow for video 56. Bye.